During election campaign, politicians often make bold promises. Well, some promise lower taxes, some promise better jobs, and sometimes they make promises that capture headlines across the globe. One such promise came from New York City's Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Well, Mamdani said that if Israeli Prime Minister Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu he visited New York, then he would be arrested. The whole statement, it quickly went viral. Supporters praised it, critics called it unrealistic, political leaders across different countries reacted. Well, for many people, it sounded like a strong political message. But now Mr. Mamdani himself has admitted that the reality is far more complicated. In recent interview, Mr. Mamdani acknowledged that the mayor of New York does not have the legal authority to arrest a foreign head of government like Benjamin Netanyahu. He explained that matters involving international law, diplomatic immunity, and foreign leaders, it falls under the jurisdiction of the US federal government, not the office of New York City mayor. Now, this clarification has once again started a political debate. Critics say that Mamdani made a promise that could never legally be fulfilled. Supporters argue that his original comments were intended as a political statement rather than a plan of action. Regardless of where one stands, the episode highlights an important lesson about politics. There is often a big difference between what is promised and what can be done. The controversy also shows how international conflicts are increasingly influencing local politics. A mayor of New York, he is no longer only about housing, transport, or public safety. Global issues like Israel-Hamas conflict, international law, and foreign policies are becoming part of local political campaign. What happens thousands of kilometers away, it can now influence debates inside American cities. Wars are fought on the battlefield, right? But today, they are fought on the smartphones. One short video can travel across the world in minutes. It can influence public opinion, it can trigger political debate, and sometimes it can raise more questions than the answer. And that's exactly what has happened with the video that is now circulating widely on social media. The clip appears to show a US soldier delivering an emotional message about the Iran conflict. During the video, the individual uses strong language against the US President, Mr. Donald Trump, and appears to announce that he is leaving military service. That's big. The video quickly went viral. Millions of people, they watched it. Supporters and critics, they flooded social media with reaction. Some described it as an evidence of frustration within the military. Others questioned whether the video represented the views of only one individual, as often happens online. Well, opinions spread much faster than verified information, and this is why it is very important to separate what is visible from what is confirmed. The video does appear to show an individual expressing anger and discussing resignation. However, the full context behind the clip and any official confirmation regarding the reported resignation that remains unclear. Well, in today's digital era, viral content often shapes public perception and conversation before official information becomes available. Governments investigate, news organizations verify, but social media, it moves at a much faster pace. And this is why viewers must be very careful not to confuse viral claim with confirmed facts. Whether this video ultimately reflects a larger issue or remains an isolated incident, one thing is clear. It has once again highlighted how deeply divided opinion have become over the Iran conflict and America's role in the region. Every war creates military challenges, but it also creates political debates, emotional reactions, and public disagreements at home. And finally, our last story takes us from the battlefield of West Asia to the political streets of New York, where a promise that once grabbed global attention, it has now collided with legal reality.